welcome students, welcome to lecture number 2, where we will be seeing module number 1 under subject financial management. So module number 1, as you know, is introduction to financial management, and it covers the meaning and objective of financial management, changing role of financial managers, interface of financial management with other functional areas. So these three concepts we have already seen in lecture number 1, and the remaining part we will be seeing in the subsequent lectures. So today we will be covering what is Indian financial system and financial markets. So let us move ahead. Indian financial system. So in this Indian financial system, we will be seeing a complete overview of what is Indian financial system, what are the features of Indian financial system, and what is the structure or components of Indian financial system. So let us first understand and get an overview of what is Indian financial system. Students, financial system of any country is very important for the economic development of the country. So Indian financial system, this system is very important because it is the main pillar for the economic development of India. Okay, because this is a system that creates the wealth. This is the system that creates the finance, that creates the wealth by linking the savings always to the investments. Okay, so let us just understand this. The financial system of a country mainly aims at managing and governing the mechanism of production, distribution, exchange, and holding of financial assets or instruments of all kinds. So when we talk about Indian financial system, means the system, what does this system do? Does is it produces, it mints the finance, it distributes the finance, there is an exchange of finance happening, and it holds the finance in order to have an economic development in the country. So what happens basically in the system is there is a flow of funds. The funds keep flowing from the savers. Savers are persons who keep saving the funds to the business firms. The business firms are the investors, which aids in the wealth creation, okay, and development of both the persons who requires the funds and to the persons who are investing the funds or who are saving the funds. So basically the Indian financial system works on the flow of funds from those who want to save the funds to those who are in need of funds. Next, the services that are provided to a person by the various financial institutions, including banks, insurance companies, pensions, funds, etc., constitute the financial system. So basically, students, in this Indian financial system, what happens is any person who is in the need of the funds will make sure that he gets the required funds from the required financial institutions. So the entire flow that constitutes the Indian financial system. So Indian financial system is nothing but it is a link between the savings and investments only with an intention for creation of wealth, okay, and making sure that the fund is flowing proportionately in the system. Now, let us understand the features of Indian financial system. It plays a vital role in the economic development of the country as it encourages both savings and investments. It helps in mobilizing and allocating one's savings. So when one wants to save, one wants to save one's funds. It will help in allocating to the proper investment strategy or in the proper investment category by mobilizing the funds. It facilitates the expansion of financial institutions and markets. If the number of persons who are in need of funds is more, then obviously there will be an expansion of financial institution and markets. Financial markets I'm talking about here plays a key role in capital formation. Suppose there is any company who is in need of capital, okay, if there is a strong Indian financial system, it will play a key role in helping that company form a capital, in their organization. It helps form a link between the investors and the one who wants to save. So Indian financial system does the work of linking the investors with the one who wants to save. It is also concerned with the provision of funds. Means it is not only that one, it also makes sure that the funds are available in case of emergencies. So Indian financial system is basically nothing but it is a system which will create a portfolio in such a way that there is a creation of wealth in the market. Next, let us see what is the structure of Indian financial system. So the entire Indian financial system, students, is divided into financial institutions, that is banking and non-banking institutions, financial markets, that is organized markets and unorganized markets, and financial instruments or financial assets, that is fund based and fee based services. So now let us understand what is financial institution, students. Now, financial institutions are those institutions that provide fund to the one who is in need. So financial institution is further divided into banking and non-banking institutions. Now, banking institutions are those institutions that are regulated by RBI, and they are those institutions who does the various banking activities as laid down in the RBI Act, that is borrowing, accepting deposits, lending money, and various other functions that a banking institution follows. Non-banking financial institutions are those institutions that do not have full banking license, students, and they cannot accept deposits from public, but they do provide certain financial services. Okay, so the difference is these are not having the full license to run as how banks run, and these banking institutions have all the rights that is given by the RBI to conduct all the services relating to banks. Now, in detail, financial institutions, you all have a concept in this particular model. In detail, we will be dealing it when we come to this particular concept. Now, financial markets. Financial markets are those markets where where one can procure the finance. Now, when you all require vegetables, you all go to vegetable market, right? Similarly, when anyone is in need of finance, they will go to the financial market. So financial market is a market where the finance is being traded, where there is a sale and exchange of securities, where if anyone is in need of finance, will approach the financial market. Now, financial market is further divided into unorganized market and organized market. Now, what do you mean by unorganized market or uh, organized market? So unorganized markets are those markets that are not regulated. They don't have a fixed procedure, they don't have a fixed policies, so they are not regulated, students. But organized markets are those markets that are regulated under a particular act, or they have fixed policies, fixed procedures for the receipt of funds or for uh, lending the funds. So that is all about financial markets. Now, financial assets, instruments, or services. Now, these are those assets or services where the funds are either borrowed or either they are accepted. Now, they can be fund-based services or fee-based services. Now, let us understand what is fund-based services. Fund-based services are those services where a particular fund is being provided which is backed up with an asset, whereas a fee based services are those services where the fund is given against a fee, not against a asset. So there is a difference between fund based and fee based services. So here in fund based services, the funds are given, okay, or assets are funds are given against an asset, and where, like, you can say, for example, like hire purchase, like leasing, for example, bill discounting. But fee-based services are those services where the income is earned, but in the form of fee, commission, brokerage, or you can say dividend. Okay, so that comes under fee-based services. So now we have seen what is Indian financial system, the overview of it, the features and the structure of Indian financial system. Now, let us understand what is financial markets. Students, individually, we will be dealing with financial institution where I'll be explaining in detail what is it. Individually, we will be dealing with financial assets as well. But today we will be covering the financial markets. So, now let us in detail see what is a financial market. So a financial market refers to a marketplace where creation and trading of financial assets. Financial assets means shares, debentures, bonds, derivatives, currencies take place. It plays a crucial role in allocating limited resources in the country's economy. So basically, financial market is a marketplace where the wealth is created as well as there is a flow of the wealth. It is a market for trading in financial securities like shares, currency, debentures, bonds, derivatives, etc. So traders buy and sell the financial assets. So basically it is a market where there is a trading, that is, there is a purchase and sale of financial funds happening. There's a purchase and sale of financial assets happening in this particular financial market. Now, financial, let us see the types of financial market. Financial market is divided into capital market and money market. Now, when will a particular person go to capital market? He will go to a capital market when he is in need of long-term funds. Now, when I say long-term funds, that means if he requires funds for a period of more than 1 year, then he will go and approach in the capital market. But if any individual, any person requires funds for a shorter period of time, say for a period of 1 year, then he will approach the money market. So capital market is a long-term market that is governed by SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, and money market is basically a short-term market that is for a period of less than 1 year, and it is governed by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. Capital market is further divided into primary market and secondary market. Now let us understand what is primary market and secondary market. Primary market is a market basically where new securities are being issued, students. When I say new securities means the securities are issued for the first time, like your IPOs, initial public offer, where those securities are issued for the first time by the company for raising its capital, for raising its finance. So what happens here is it is a new issue market. When we say primary market, it is a new issue market and it deals with new securities being issued for the first time. Like IPOs, like suppose if any company has just
Ma'am,
started. Yes,
ma'am, actually some people are waiting in lobby, and if you can let them in.
okay. I can't see anyone waiting as of now. Yes, Shreya. Students, just an humble request, like if the session is scheduled at 10 o'clock, I request you all like by 10:05 to join in the session, because the session shouldn't get interrupted in between. So that's the only reason I want you all to join max by 10:05 into the session. So I can't see anyone waiting as of now in my window. Shreya, if anyone is waiting, can you just tell them to uh, join to the link once again?
Okay, ma'am.
Is there anyone, or should I continue with the session?
Ma'am, continue please.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think there are students who wants to join.
So they can join in, right? My window is open, right? I can accept them, but I can't see anyone waiting as of now in that window.
Okay, 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 okay.
So have they joined in and then left out, or what is it? Since the session gets disturbed, that's the only reason I'm requesting you all from the next class onwards, just join max by 10:05. Okay, students? So are they still waiting, or I'll continue with the session? Okay, so where were we? We were talking about the primary market. So primary market is a market where new securities are been issued. That is, the securities are issued for the first time. Like if any company is started its business, or any company is already established and is in need of funds, and if it is issuing the securities for the first time, like by initial public offer, those securities are the first time issued by the company through IPOs, then it is a primary market. Secondary market is nothing but it is like a stock market where already issued securities are being traded by the investors. So what happens here is it helps the existing investors to sell their securities, and the fresh investors can also enter into the market. So here there is a dealing in securities, in those securities which are already been issued. In stock market, what happens? Usually that happens that the securities which were already being issued by the company are being traded between the buyer and the seller. So now let us move ahead. Now let us understand in detail what is capital market. So as I told you all, capital market is a market where if anyone requires funds for a longer period of time, they will approach the capital market. And the maturity is for a period exceeding 1 year. So once you borrow the funds from this market, okay, you have to repay it only after 1 year. So this market is basically a long-term market, okay, where it helps to channelize the surplus funds from savers to the institutions. So types of capital market, again, we have seen is primary market, that is IPOs, where the new securities are being issued, and secondary market where already issued securities are being traded. So capital market, let us see what are the instruments through which the funds can be raised in the capital market. So we have shares, debentures, depository receipts, that is ADR, GDR, IDR, and derivatives. Now let us see step by step what are shares, debentures, bonds, derivatives, and depository receipts. Now what are shares, students? When any company wants to raise the finance, it can raise with the help of issue of shares. Now, there are two types of shares that can be issued by the company, that is equity shares and preference shares. So once the company issues these shares to the public, the interested investors, whoever wants to invest in the company or lend the money to the company, okay, they will lend the money to the company, and the company in turn will issue them shares. So shares are of two types, equity and preference. Let us understand what is equity shares. So again, equity shares are long-term financing sources of any company, and it is long-term, therefore it is falling under capital market, because capital market is a market for a long-term period of time, is if anyone requires funds and whose maturity is for a period exceeding 1 year. So equity shares are basically shares that are issued to the general public, okay, and they are non-redeemable. So when I say they are non-redeemable in nature, which means that once the equity shares are issued and the amount against those shares are collected from the public, though that amount will not be repayable back to the public. But in turn, the investors, they will get a right to vote in the decisions that is made in the company. They will have a right towards the profits of the company, and they will have a right towards the share in the assets of the company. On the other hand, preference shares are those shares same as equity, but there is a difference. That is, preference shares can be redeemable. When I say redeemable means preference shares, the amount collected against preference shares can be repaid back to the shareholders. Okay. And preference shares have preferential treatment over equity in respect of repayment of capital, and they have a fixed dividend. See, whenever you're investing money in any company, you will want an interest or dividend in return. You will want some amount in return, and that amount is fixed in case of preference shares. And preference shares are a hybrid instrument. When I say hybrid, it has some features of equity and some features of debentures. So any company who wants to raise funds, it can raise with the help of shares by issuing either equity shares and preference shares. Equity shares are the real owners of the company because they have rights towards the profit, towards the assets, towards the decisions made by the company. Whereas preference shareholders, they do not have any voting rights, but they have preferential treatment in respect of repayment of capital, and they have fixed dividend. Equity shareholders will get dividend depending whether the company makes profit or losses. It is not fixed. But preference shareholders do have fixed rate of dividend. Next is debentures and bonds. Now, what are debentures? Again, it is like a debt instrument. Means if any company wants to take loan, it can take from the public. I'm saying from the public, it can take loan by issuing the debentures. So once a company issues the debentures, it is getting the funds in the form of loan from the public, which it will repay after a period of 1 year. Okay, there is a repayment in case of debentures. Now, since the public is investing or giving the loan to the company in turn will give some interest on the amount that they have raised to the debenture holders. So debentures are nothing but they are the debt instruments, and any person will give loan to the company depending upon the credit worthiness and reputation of the company. So no one will just invest in any company, or no one will just give funds to any company. So the funds or the shares, the investment is made only when depending upon the credit worthiness and reputation of the company. Next, let us understand what is ADR, GDR, and IDR. So this is one more form of instrument through which the funds can be raised. So ADR is nothing but American Depository Receipt. Okay, so it is nothing but it is a negotiable certificate which is issued by the US Depository Bank. So only US Depository Bank can issue this. depository receipt, that is a certificate which specifies or represents a specified number of shares. Okay, and often one share of a foreign company's stock. So this usually ADR is traded on US stock market, students. So ADRs are those certificates against which you are going to invest in the US stocks, and they are traded only in the US market. Next is global depository receipts. Again, they are nothing but they are negotiable instruments which can be negotiated all over the world, as ADR is only in US. GDR is a global depository receipt where it can be negotiable in all over the world, and usually this is being issued by the European countries. So GDR is issued by the European countries. What is the purpose of GDR? That it helps company to acquire the funds, to raise the finance, to acquire the resources from all over the world. So if any company requires funds, it can acquire through the GDRs. And so GDR will be applied by the companies all over the world, including India. So it is global. Next is IDR. So IDR is again Indian Depository Receipt, which is issued in India. So IDR is only issued in India, and it is negotiable only within India, students. So it helps the foreign companies to acquire the resources of India. So if any foreign companies wants funds, wants resources, wants any financial help, so it can by applying the IDRs in India. So IDR is listed in NSE, that is National Stock Exchange. And the Indian companies will not apply for Indian depository receipt. It is the foreign companies who will apply for IDRs. So this is depository receipt is one more means or one more instrument under capital market under which the funds can be raised, through which the funds can be raised. Next, moving ahead to derivatives. Now, what are derivatives? Derivatives again is a financial instrument, and it is a contract between, it is a financial contract where the value keeps on changing or the value depends on other asset. So basically common things here are the stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities. So here the value of the underlying asset keeps changing according to the market condition. So the value of the stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities keep on changing, okay, according to the market condition. So what is the basic principle of derivative is to earn profits by speculating on the value of the underlying assets in future. That is just estimating that what will be the value. That is just predicting the value of any particular asset in the future. And whatever is the difference between the value now and in the future, the difference is the profit that is earned, and that is nothing but that is derivatives. So these were the instruments of capital market, that was shares, debentures, depository receipt, and derivatives. Now we had seen that there were two types of markets, financial markets, that is money market and capital market and money market. Now let us understand first what is money market. It is a market for short-term borrowing, lending, buying, selling with original maturities of 1 year or less. So as I've already explained, money market is a market for short-term finance. So anyone who requires fund for a period of less than 1 year, or where the maturity is less than 1 year, they will approach the money market. So money market is again a financial market where short-term financial assets having liquidity of 1 year or less is being traded. Okay, and here remember students, the financial securities are highly liquid because they can be easily converted into the funds. Now let us understand the money market instruments. What are the instruments through which the funds can be raised under money market? So first you have is call or notice money. Now what is this call or notice money? Now what happens many a times if bank requires immediate money to maintain its cash flow for a particular day. So you can say for a short period of time, that is from 1 day to 14 days. If bank requires money, it will call for the money from the public or from the depositors. So what it is doing, it is raising the funds. Why it wants the money? In order to maintain its cash balance for that particular day. So it will raise the funds, that is banks will raise the funds for a short period of time with the help of an instrument called as call money. And this money is being borrowed usually for a period of 1 day up to a period of 14 days in order to just maintain the cash flow. So what happens, the interest rate in this is market driven. So it depends on the demand and supply. And the interest rates keep on fluctuating. There is no fixed rate of interest in respect of call money. Next is treasury bills. Now treasury bills are also called as T-bills. So they are issued by RBI on behalf of the central government. So remember students, money market is usually monitored or regulated by the RBI, but these treasury bills are issued by the RBI on behalf of central government for just raising the money. And they, as I already told you, all money market instruments have short-term securities, maturities. So up to a period of 1 year. So treasury bills have a maturity up to which can go up to a period of only 1 year. So currently, the treasury bills that are being issued by RBI are 91 days treasury bills, 182 days treasury bills, which means that, or 1 year treasury bills, which means that if you opt for 91 days treasury bills, it means that it has to be repaid after 91 days. So the maturity period of 91 days treasury bills will be 91 days. 182 days means after 6 months you have to repay the treasury bills amount, or 1 year means the maturity period is 1 year. So now what is the benefit of this treasury bills? Treasury bills are issued at a discount to the face value. Now suppose if the face value is 100 students of those treasury bills, so they are issued at 80 rupees. At the time of issue they are issued at 80 rupees. But what will be the benefit earned by the investors? The investors at the time of maturity will get the face value. Now, what do you mean by this? Treasury bills are issued by RBI. They will be issued at a discount. Whichever investor is interested, he will opt for the treasury bills by taking it on at a discount of suppose 80 rupees. But when the treasury bills matures, the investors will be given the face value. That is, it will be given 100 rupees back. So 80 minus 100, 20 rupees will be the interest earned or the return earned by the investors. So they are the safest short-term fixed income investments, as they are backed up with the government of India. So treasury bills are backed up by government of India. Next, let us understand what are commercial bills. So commercial bills also is a money market instrument, okay, which works like a bill of exchange. So many businesses issue them, okay, just to meet their short-term money requirements. Many businesses who are in need for short-term money requirements, if they want an amount for a period of less than 1 year, they will issue the commercial bills, okay, and these instruments will be having better liquidity, and it is same like bill of exchange, because this commercial bills can be transferred from one person to another person who is in the need of immediate cash requirement. Next, let us see certificate of deposit. So again, certificate of deposits are nothing but they are issued by banks and financial institutions. And what exactly happens in this is, here there is a fixed rate on the amount that is invested by the investors in case of certificate of deposit, and the difference between the certificate deposit and the fixed deposit is that the value of principal amount that can be invested. That means this particular certificate of deposit can be will be given for a shorter period of time, whereas fixed deposit, you can make a fixed deposit for a period of more than 1 year, and there is no restriction on the minimum amount. So what happens is the amount of investment that is made in certificate of deposit is like you can make any amount of investment in the certificate of deposit, and the maturity period of usually this certificate of deposit ranges from 7 days to 1 year if it is issued by banks, and if it is issued by any other financial institution other than banks, okay, it can be up to 1 year to 3 years. So those falling that are issued by the banks, that is for a period of 7 days to 1 year, falls under money market instrument. So certificate of deposit is simply a certificate. Like if any investor wants to invest, he will invest the amount in the bank, and the bank in turn will give him a certificate where mentioning the fixed rate of interest that the investor will get on the amount that is invested by him in the bank. Next is commercial papers. So commercial papers is again to meet the short-term working capital requirements. Now again, when I say commercial paper, they have their maturity from 15 days to 1 year, and the commercial papers that are being issued has to be issued as per the policies that is laid down by the Reserve Bank of India. And again, students, in commercial paper, what happens is it is issued at a discount, and when it is redeemed, it will be redeemed at the face value. So the difference will be the interest that will be earned. And the denomination and the size of commercial paper, the minimum size will be rupees 25 lakhs, okay, and maximum size will be 100% of the issuer's working capital requirement. So working capital is the capital required for the day-to-day working of the organization. So whatever funds are required, so that can be acquired through this commercial papers. Next is money market mutual funds. Now let us understand what is money market mutual funds. So these are nothing but these are the open-ended funds generally to meet the short-term requirements. Okay, so the money market funds deals only in cash and cash equivalents, which is having a maturity period of an year and not more than a year. So what happens in money market mutual funds is a fund manager will invest in all money market instruments like treasury bills. We have seen commercial papers, certificate of deposit, bills of exchange. So here the it is a category of open-ended mutual funds where the fund manager will channelize the investors funds to the short-term market instruments, which means the fund manager, he will take the money from the investors and he will invest in any of the above mentioned money market instrument. So here you need not invest, your part of investment will be carried on by the fund manager. So this is money market instrument. So students, today we have seen what is Indian financial system, what are the financial markets, and by this we have completed the session for today. Thank you so much, students.